The other day I was hanging out with my brother, and he's not the, avid anime goer like I or many others are. And he asked me for a recommendation on a fantasy action anime. And as most of my viewers know, I am a huge Mushoku Tensei fan. I was so intrigued last year that I ended up reading the whole web novel within like a couple months. Like, it did not take me long whatsoever. And it was, besides Ray Zero, I haven't had any other series like that. So I obviously showed him, and I watched one episode together, and he fell in love with it. Now, that is something that I'm very happy about, because this show is one of, well, the whole series, not even just the show, but the web novel, the light novel obviously cuts, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, make it a little cleaner. And then we have the manga, which I'm not even going to get into because that is the one form of media that. But this show there's a reason that it is ranked number 45 greatest anime of all time on my anime list. After you get past, all of the like Attack on Titans and all that fun stuff, you get, when you start getting into the real deep stuff. And this show has so many values that go into it. It is insane. You start out with Rudis, who gets reincarnated, into this new life, a new opportunity to be who, he wants to be and restart, not having to be, a closed in, mentally scarred human being. And they go through the show, or series in general, watching him just grow up. And I'm not going to go into spoiler territory past season 1. I'm just going to discuss the first 23 episodes plus the OVA. I was going to discuss details from that, and next year when the later seasons come out, we can talk about that as well. However, let's talk about it. So Rudis, people they're disgusted with him based on the fact that he's a 30-year-old male reincarnated into a boy with the same mental mindset. And I could kind of see that, but at the same time, what is he supposed to do? Like an 80-year-old. I digress. However, he starts out as this just pile of shit human being, and works his way up throughout the season to become somebody who not only cares about his family, but cares about the people that he's close to, and starts to form these deep relationships with them. He's not only a self-centered, arrogant piece of crap. He's not quite a man, but he has grown so much, and he's learning life lessons that he never got to experience as a past life, because, well, he just ruined that opportunity, and he ruined friendships without even trying to, and he had just a rough upbringing, and now he's redeeming himself for it because he's pushing himself to the limits. And it's so beautiful to watch. It is legitimately, genuinely the perfect isekai anime, and I could not think of anything close to it whatsoever. We've got great supporting characters like Shelfie and Roxy and Iris, who are all obviously love interests of Rudis, and they're all their individual selves. They're not just the same cliche, basic, boring, like sundry love action bullcrap. They all have their distinct personalities that all genuinely come together. I mean, Iris, look at her, for instance. She's like this red-headed hot firebomb when we first get introduced to her. And by the end of the series of season 1, she's growing. She wants to be a better person. She's learned to read. She's learned to fight. She doesn't think she's enough for Rudis, but she wants to be. So she leaves on her journey to take care of that. And that is such a huge improvement from when we got started. Roxy never wanted to go back home to her main village. She was, she couldn't do the same things that everybody else in her village could with the telekinesis of the village. But she ended up going back. She looking for everybody that got lost, ends up going back and, confronting her parents for the first time in years. And then you got Shelfie, which sadly in season 1 we do not get much of. But from when we first meet her getting bullied and not having any friends or anything, to where we kind of just last see her off, is such an improvement. She's getting along with Rudis. She's learning magic. She's bonding with the family even when Rudis is gone at the castle learning stuff. They're all great characters. Even like Rigid. I could go on and on about this forever. Every character in this series has such great development. And on top of that, our MC is not some overpowered person, which I enjoy so much. Overpowered MCs are a dime a dozen, and I cannot stand it. Rudis, on the other hand, sure, he's pretty strong. He has chantless incantations. Yeah, but he also has so many weaknesses. He's not a very good physical fighter. He can only do certain types of spells that work in his field. But what he does have is a great extensive knowledge and learning ability to fight. And the fight scenes in this show are spectacular. I love them so much, especially since Rudis doesn't do a whole hell of a lot, but he does do something impressive when they face off against Orsted. Holy cow, it was such a quick scene, but the way they executed it and wrote it out is so good, and that it's only going to get better. That's, the further you get into the series, it just gets more intense and more real, and life lessons keep happening, and it makes you want to just keep watching. This has been actually some of the hardest few, like almost obviously a year of waiting for another season. I cannot stand it. And then it's, oh my goodness, it just keeps getting better. The lore. You've got all these different languages and all these different continents, and we get to go exploring through it and seeing all the freaking different, cultures, like I said, and all the different races. And then on top of it, you've got like the different deities and the fighting styles. You could literally, I mean, they have and they do, but you could like literally like just study everything, and it all is so cohesive. And we get family bonding, which is always nice to see with Paul and Rudis. Clearly, we had bad moments with the whole epic disaster of the world, which is insane, especially considering the fact of, nobody's really been by themselves with Rudis or Iris or any of those people, and they somehow learn to grow up and manage to live on their own. There's an endless amount of things I could say about this show, and honestly, I could go on forever, but I know that's not exactly what everybody wants. They want this to kind of wrap up, and have me conclude the video. And I guess my real point of this video is just to say, you could pretty much recommend this to anybody, and universally, as long as they have, an open mind, decent taste, and love adventure and character building and world building and lore, and even some, love, lots of love actually, and drama and devastation. This show is for you. This show is for everybody. I cannot recommend it enough. Like, I would give everybody $5 their money back if they did not enjoy this show to at least the extent of a 6.5 out of 10. This is one of the very first 10 out of 10s I ever gave. I only have 9 on my list, and this one easily set that place. Now, the first part of the core it's setting it up, and I could see where somebody would want to maybe possibly drop it. But even after that first episode, we get introduced to Roxy. We learn about magic. We learn how it works. We get to meet the family. We get to hear a new language. So much is drawing you in at this point, and I honestly, if you don't even give it like an honest watch through, I do feel sorry for you. And that's about all I gotta say about that. So yes, if I can get my sibling to watch this show, I feel like everybody can watch this show. And I really hope that you genuinely do. But that's all I have to say about that. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the video, give it a like. If you stayed this long and you don't want to, or even a sub, that's cool. I understand. But thanks for staying. So with that being said, we'll see you in the next video, and everybody have a good day. Peace.